Hey guys, so this week I had a free 5-day kind of glance or trial into intermittent fasting, and I kind of took them through the transition of eating within a 10-hour window, 10-hour window, 9, 8, and 8. And it went really awesome. I had over 150 ladies in this group, and they had a lot of questions. So I figured I would address a lot of these questions because I know I'm going to have more future groups like that. So make sure you follow me on my Facebook page. I'll link it down in the comments because that's where I'm going to post when I'm going to do those groups again. But I got a lot of frequently asked questions, and with intermittent fasting, I want to teach people how to make this a part of your life and not control your life. Like, that's part of the reason why I started intermittent fasting, because I was just sick of food prepping. I was sick of constantly thinking about food when I was having to eat every 2 to 3 hours and what was my next meal. That was constantly on my mind. And with intermittent fasting, my body likes to eat 3 larger meals. I eat within a certain window. I have more focus, more energy than I ever have before. I mean, I don't have this mid-afternoon slump like I used to. So I opened up this free 5-day group because I want to just start helping people make the transition to intermittent fasting, because a lot of times if you just go from eating, waking up in the morning and eating until you go to bed at night, and then you try to do intermittent fasting, your body is so used to eating so frequently, it's going to send signals where you feel like you're starving, but you're really not. So basically, all I wanted to do with that group is just ease them into it, and many of them loved it. They do see that this is going to be a lifestyle for them. But I've got a list of questions here that I'm going to address, give my opinion on. I'm going to link things down in the description that are sources where I got my information from. So let's just go ahead and get started. And the first question or topic that we talked about a lot was being and feeling bloated while intermittent fasting. So first off, especially in women, bloating can be caused by a lot of different things. Hormones can cause bloating, water intake especially. If your body is not used to drinking lots of water, and in this group I suggest you wake up, you drink water all morning to help curb your hunger pains till it's time for you to eat. If your body is used to being really dehydrated, it is going to hold on to that water, causing bloat because you've been in a dehydrated state. So it wants to hold on to that water just in case your body goes into dehydration again. If you continue to do intermittent fasting, I would say give it at least 3 weeks. The bloating will be gone. I'm sure it's not even, you might just feel it. It might be due to hormones. You just never know. So it could also be what you're eating. So if you have sensitivities that you aren't aware of, such as dairy, oats, gluten, whatever, it might be a sensitivity to a certain food. So maybe I would highly suggest, if you are eating dairy, take it out and see if that alone helps with bloating. Or if you've already taken dairy out, if you're eating oats in the morning, or you're having a lot of a certain food group, a lot of times I notice for myself, I don't have a gluten intolerance. It's just if I have a lot of bread, a lot of oats, a lot of grains, I do get bloated. That's because I was eating an abundance of that particular type of food. So first, it could be the off switch of going from dehydrated to now hydrating, and it could be what you're eating or your hormones with bloating and intermittent fasting. Huge topic of conversation was supplement, having a pre-workout, what technically will break a fast. For me, and there are other people out there that'll say different things, but for me, my research and what I like to call my common sense corner of my brain, if you consume anything with calories, fat, protein especially, you are breaking your fast. With that being said, I do have black coffee with stevia in the morning. That has 0 calories. That gives me my caffeine to wake up and get moving in the morning. I go to the gym and I drink my branched chain amino acids. This is in the grape flavor. I get this from Dr. Sarah Solomon's website. There's no calories in this. It tastes really good and I really, really like this. So I do drink a BCAA because I work out right away in the morning and I continue to stay fasted. So I do feel that this is really important, especially if you're weight training, especially if you're doing intense workouts, to get a BCAA that is low in calories. My rule of thumb is if it's over 5 calories, it's gonna break your fast. So that's what my common sense corner tells me, you guys. Sorry if it's shaking. Cash happens to want to hit the coffee table right now. My common sense corner says if it has calories, you will break your fast. It's as simple as that. I also never want to become dependent on a supplement or a certain type of drink. Cash, quit it. Or a certain type of drink in the morning, because I just don't ever want to feel dependent on certain things. Oh my God, he's shaking this so bad. You're interrupting the video. And I just don't feel like it's healthy. A lot of people are whining, and I'm sorry if I offend you, but you're whining about your coffee and creamer in the morning. Creamer is doing no good for you. It is yucky, full of crap. Get rid of it. It's processed dairy, blah, just stop. And I can say that because I used to be a coffee creamer addict. Like I would literally take a little bit of coffee creamer, a little bit of milk, and a splash of coffee. That's how I took my coffee like 5-6 years ago when I first started college. And now I drink black coffee with stevia just fine. So you can make that transition. If you don't want to, if you genuinely don't like the taste of coffee, but you like lattes, you know, start out with some kind of caffeine. You can do a 0-calorie tea. There are pill forms of caffeine. So if your body is addicted to caffeine, you want to start weaning off of it. You can't just do black coffee. You know, don't judge taking a caffeine pill over having multiple cups of coffee a day, because you're probably having more caffeine than what is in a caffeine supplementation based on the milligrams or the dosage or whatever. So in my opinion, anything that has calories will break your fast. That's my opinion. There are other researchers out there. Like I know one of the girls in our group talked about a bulletproof coffee. If you have fat and protein, which is in bulletproof coffee because it's made with butter and usually coconut oil, you're breaking your fast. And a lot of the people that I research that do that, they have their bulletproof coffee in the morning and then they don't eat for another like 6 to 8 hours after that. That wouldn't work for me and my lifestyle. I like eating around, I know I was doing 10 and 6, but now my window is probably more like 11 and 7. 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. is my eating window, because that's what's working for me and my lifestyle. I know waking up, having bulletproof coffee, and then going a long time without food again, I don't see, like my common sense just thinks like that's not what the protocol is. And in the protocol that I like to do the 16 and 8 hour window. So you fast for 16 hours and then you have your eating window of 8 hours. So that was a huge one. Like that coffee and pre-workout discussion, you know, people were linking me their research, like saying it's 50 calories, it's 20 calories. To me, it's like I don't want to be dependent on a pre-workout for my workouts in general. Leg days, I will usually take a supplement. Optimum Nutrition's pre-workout is what I've been taking lately, but I just always make sure it's under like 5 calories and just have a little bit of it because I don't want to be dependent on it. The black coffee usually gets me through my workout fine. If I have, you know, like I don't ever want to see other people become so addicted to supplements or feel like you have to have it in order to get a good workout in. You know, when you're working out fasted and your body's trying to find that energy, it's pulling it from your fat storage, you know? So it's like, if you're taking these different supplements and stimulants, is your body really taking the energy source from where you want it to, which is your fat storage? That's just kind of my common sense thinking of it all. So I know that was kind of a ramble. Another one was, people asked about, do I always stay within the 16 and 8 protocol, or do I switch it up? And I gave the example of Easter. When I went to have Easter with my family, we do Easter Sunday. We eat about 2 o'clock p.m. I had my Shakeology in the morning, and then I ate my huge Easter dinner with my family and had the foods that I love that we only have when we're having family gatherings. And then I didn't eat the rest of the day because I genuinely was not hungry. I continued to drink water. I think I did have a cup of coffee around 4, but still, it was just black coffee. And then I stayed fasted until like 11 a.m. the next day because I genuinely was not hungry. I really feel like this intermittent fasting protocol is a lot like intuitive eating. Once your body gets used to not eating every 2 hours, if your body's used to that, your insulin level's all out of whack, and it might be out of whack for a couple weeks until you get really used to it, but you're not starving when you're going into your 16-hour fast. And so sometimes I do a 20 and 4, I guess that would have technically been. If I go longer than 16 hours, it's because I genuinely am not hungry. So I don't do it intentionally, I do it intuitively. There are a lot of males that find a lot of success in intermittent fasting in the 20 and 4 or even less hour window. And that's just something you've got to gauge for yourself. But if you haven't even, gotten comfortable with your 16 and 8 hour, I wouldn't even worry about it yet. So I know in that 5-day group, I'm like, we're focusing on transitioning from grazing all day to eating within an 8-hour window. That's the main goal, and I do want to educate you, but we need to first establish that. So then, I couldn't imagine, like, if you're used to eating all day long and then you're like, I'm going to fast for 20 hours. You're not going to like that, and it's not going to feel good, and you won't be able to make it a lifestyle. But now I could probably do a 20 and 4 consistently if I wanted to, but like I said, it's just the 16 and 8 works for my lifestyle. This video is going so long. I'm sorry for my rambling. Okay, the next question was, does working out right away in the morning fasted, is that more beneficial than working out in the evening after you've eaten a little bit? And there are studies showing that fasted workouts and fasted training do benefit with fat loss. There's also studies showing that it really taps into muscle. There's all different kinds of research out there, but you need to know what is best for you. If it works in your schedule, I know if I wake up in the morning and I don't get to my workout right away, I think of 1,005 other excuses not to do it. So ideally, it would be awesome and perfect if I worked out at 9 a.m. so I could break my fast with protein right after my workout. But if I don't work out right away in the morning, and I'm talking, I still wake up at like 6:30 in the morning, and I have my black coffee, drive to the gym or go in my basement and do my workouts, and then I stay fasted afterward. Ideally, still working out, then breaking your fast, that's ideal, but that doesn't work for my lifestyle, and I'm still seeing really good results with shedding fat, keeping lean, energy is up. I feel much better about food. So it's working for me. If it works for you to work out in the evening and you can make that consistent, and that's just the best time where you have the most energy and you'll get it done on your lunch break or in the evening, whatever, it has to be what's best for you based on your life and your consistency. If you're used to having a little bit in your stomach, it's going to be a transition to go from eating something and then working out to working out. But a few of the ladies in my group said that they thought in their head that it was going to be hard to work out fasted, and they actually love it now. They said they weren't, these two were runners, they weren't going as fast, but they felt better, if that makes sense. So there might be a little bit of a transition period, which you have to kind of listen to your own body. But I won't say that it's better to work out in the morning fasted if it's better for your schedule to work out on your noon hour or your evening time. It has to be what's going to be consistent for you and your lifestyle to keep up with your life, you know? Okay. We kind of did talk about, but for majority of the people in this group, they were Beachbody customers or coaches, and they talked about E&E, Beachbody's energy and endurance formula, which I love that as a pre-workout because it is the cleanest pre-workout. There's not a lot of yucky crap in there, but lemon lime never sits well in my stomach because of my severe acid reflux. It's just something about lemon lime. I don't know. So I do not, that's why I don't drink it, but I have a lot of customers and clients that do and love it. It's basically just caffeine. And I would say if you have one scoop of E&E, it's not going to break your fast. Because, and especially if you have it diluted properly in water, that's another thing with supplements that people don't really educate, or they don't really hear about, but you really should be diluting your supplements properly in water. I cringe when I see people take pre-workout and then mix it up in their mouth and swallow it. Like, you have to dilute it properly. But one scoop of E&E won't break your fast. If you are taking E&E and you're still, you know, if your pre-workout or your supplement has 10 or 20 calories, you guys, and they're mostly from carbs, like there's still no fat and protein, and you're still seeing the positive effects of intermittent fasting, go for it. It's not gonna completely kill your results or your progress. So this week, if you have a certain pre-workout that you like or supplement that you like, try incorporating it. And if you're still feeling energized and lean, like this is working for you, one way I think you could gauge if it broke your fast is if you drink your supplement of choice and then you can't sustain, you know, like if you are feeling hungry, in my mind that says you broke your fast because your body's telling you, okay, I'm ready for my next meal. Try it. I mean, I don't think it's really gonna, I don't think if you want to take it and see how it works for you. Me personally, I'm black coffee, amino type of gal. That's just how I roll. And then this is grape flavor. I highly suggest this one. It's really good. But there are lots of other 0-calorie aminos. You just have to look at the nutritional content on each of the packaging on the provider's website. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you like me talking about intermittent fasting. You can leave comments down below. I love responding to you guys. Congratulations to the amazing ladies that were in my intermittent fasting group.